Hello, I am disabled, and I am on YouTube, and I'm on other websites. I suffer with spastic paraplegia, which the first symptoms came about in 1989, which came as a result of me being exposed to neurotoxins in 1987-88, one of them being DDT. Anyway, I've also produced my own website, which I have up and running. I'm Judeo-Christian with an interest in the paranormal and music and people. The thing that appalls me is when people claim that because we're disabled, we're hated. We are not hated. And the thing I have learned to do to get past the ignorance of these people is to get on and do the things that I enjoy, regardless of their ignorance. And I am grateful for the life that God has given me. Okay, my life requires that I have medication and other, catheters, and now I've got to take inhalers. My condition is man-made, not God-made, and the thing is, I am blessed because I am able to stabilize my illness enough that I can help speak up and show that although I am disabled and I have physical impairments for my disability, that I do have intelligence and that I can think for myself, I can speak for myself, which when I first became disabled, people seemed to think that because I was in a wheelchair, I now have a scooter, so I've got more independence, and people tend to take more notice of me. But when I was in a wheelchair, my husband was pushing me, they treated me as if, oh, poor thing, oh, poor dear, which, okay, now some of them who genuinely assisted me, because they could see I was struggling to get things off the shelf, that's different, but when people would come up to me and say, oh, you poor thing, or they'd speak to my husband as if I wasn't there. And a couple of people even said I was a mistake, being with me was a mistake because of my disability. I mean, my second marriage broke up because of my illness, so the thing is, it's down to ignorance. Thank goodness I've got a brother who is a physiotherapist, and I also have a sister she's a care supervisor in America. And my illness has also inspired my daughter to go into educating and assisting disabled as well. So 3 people have benefited from, well, more than 3. As a result of my illness, several people have benefited from my disability because my family have taken an interest in supporting and helping people like myself. And my brother, being a physiotherapist, that is a blessing to me because he tells me the exercises I need to do to keep myself mobile and to fight against the spasms. What spastic paraplegia basically means is you suffer spasms that create paralysis. Sometimes it can be maybe in 1 limb, 2 limbs, or sometimes it can be from the neck down. It depends on how it affects you and when, you never know one day to the next one. I mean, I've even had it affect my hands, Fortunately, I haven't had too many problems with my hands lately because I keep them active, even though they do get stiff now and again. And the paralysis part what it means is you lose sensation. And I mean, there's times that I've struggled to get about on my flat because I don't have any feeling from the waist down. But what I do, I still get up. I still use my legs. And what I do, I use a little bit of mind over matter because I tell myself, even though I can't feel from the waist down, I make a point of looking at my legs and I consciously think what I want my legs to do. And I can tell you a couple of times, when I first started doing it, it wasn't very easy because I almost went down. But I gradually taught myself that I don't know, somehow I must have rejigged the message system somehow, because even though I don't always feel, I can't always I don't always have feeling from my waist down, I can still get around, and people think that there's nothing wrong with me. There is, and it's only because through positive thinking, my faith in the Lord, and knowing that Christ suffered on the cross for me and for all of us, I figure that any amount of suffering I have here on earth cannot compare to the suffering that Christ had on the cross and before he went to the cross. So that pushes me to carry on. Just like that, I have the love of a good husband who supports me as well. Because I do have bad days, and sometimes sometimes from bad days come into bad weeks, but for every bad day or bad week I have, I know there's a good one to follow. So, but the computer, I play the guitar, which I haven't played in a while because I had some terrible spasms in my arms. My arms are really weak, but I think I'm getting the strength back in them to hold the guitar again. I crochet. I use the computer. I am very computer literate. Matter of fact, I'm helping my husband. I help my husband with his when he has problems with his computer. I've studied with the OU. I've got certificates in natural science and biological science and general science with the OU. I was hoping to get a degree, but my health affected my ability to get through the exams because I suffer with bladder problems as well, and I get infections rather easily, so it did sort of slow me down. And you have to excuse me rubbing my mouth. I tend to lose a lot of moisture out of my mouth. That's part of the condition. But the thing I'm saying is that being disabled, disabled is just meaning we're not as able to do the things that other people can do, but it doesn't mean that, to me, being disabled just means finding a new way of doing things. That's the way I look at it. Being disabled isn't a word or a condition meaning impediment. It means finding a new way to achieve your goals. And it doesn't matter what your condition is. If you believe in yourself and you believe in God and you remember that Christ suffered and his suffering was more than your suffering, you can achieve anything. And I am proof of that. And I'm believe it or not, I'm 44 this year. I don't know how old you think I look, but I am 44 this year, and that's for the grace of God. So, I'm just sharing this with you. And if you want to check out one of my websites, it's http://www.ourparanormalworld.pixo.com, and I've also got channels on YouTube, Google, Metacoff, and live video and live digital. See, I cover the whole range. When you're disabled and you're in front of the computer, you keep busy. But I'm also in the process of writing a book relating to my paranormal experiences, which I'm working on an ebook. I don't know how long that's going to take to finish, but no matter how long it takes to finish, I'm determined to finish it. But the point being is, if you believe in yourself and believed through the grace of God that you are his child and you're loved and that Christ suffered more than you'll ever suffer here on earth, then you can achieve anything. And the other thing is, when people say that God hates us when we're disabled, I think that if it's the opposite, God loves us even more, and I know that. And I'll give you a hint. I am descended from one of the witnesses that saw Christ crucified and resurrected, which you can find in Luke 24. His name is Cleopas, and I am his descendant. So